Hello, my violas. So today we're going to go over the D major scale because this is the first and the most important scale we learn for violas, even for violin, viola, cello, and bass. It's super important. It's in so much orchestra repertoire for our level right now. So I'm going to start by talking about the notes on the piano, because in the D major scale, in every scale has a different number of sharps, right? And you guys, in the sharps are those weird things that look like hashtags, right? So in D major we have an F sharp and a C sharp, okay? And you're probably wondering, gosh, you know, well, F sharp is the fourth space up, so we have grizzly bears devour fish. So that top space is an F, right? And we'll go over that in a second. But this is a C down here. The middle line is a C. And then you'll recall, this is the alto clef here for violas. That's the viola clef that people use. It's called the alto clef, A-L-T-O. But it's also known as the C clef because the middle line, it's a very symmetrical clef. All right, I think it's a very pretty clef. The middle line is C, right? It's not the C that we play on the A string when we play a C sharp usually, but what it means is that all of the C's, when I put a hashtag or a sharp sign on that line, it means that all of C's, whether they're really low or they're middle or they're high, it's all sharp, okay? So, and what sharp means is you're raising the note one half step, and I'll show you why. D major scale, we start on D in the piano, right? And you kind of have to know how it works in the piano, so I'll pull you over here for a second. So we have D, right? D, E, F sharp, G, A, B, C sharp, D. If you watched carefully, you'll notice that I only hit two black keys on the piano, F sharp and C sharp. So D, E, F sharp, G, A, B, C sharp, D. All right, so we have those two notes there. And the reason for that, actually, why don't I write it out here first? So if you'll recall as well, the third space up, grizzly bears devour fish, right? The third space is D, and then we just go up by step, right? D, E, and that top space, oh, right, F sharp, right? There's a sharp there, and then G here. So these are the first four notes of the scale. What are they? D, E, F sharp, G, okay? And then we go to above the step. That's what I love about viola note reading, is the notes on the D string happen to fall on the lines, right? But all of the notes on the A string, A, B, C sharp, right? Because we have a C sharp here, so we have to make sure it's sharped up here as well. And I should have made that more pretty, but you get it. And then the high D here. All of those are on top of the staff. So we have to draw ledger lines to get up from A, B, C sharp, and high D. And those notes are sol, la, ti, do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. All right, great. Now, and on the viola, it okay, so that's D, it's open 1, 2, 3, open 1, 2, 3. That was the fingering that I just used. Very good, and then you can go down from do, ti, la, sol, fa, mi, re, do. Okay, cool. Now, and just one more thing. This is a D major scale. But remember, we have a bunch of other scales that we're going to learn eventually, especially as you go through middle school and high school. And all major scales have this pattern, okay? In music, we have whole steps and half steps. And a half step is like this. Listen to this. I just did an entire scale of all half steps, okay? Well, thank goodness a major scale doesn't have that many notes, right? That was 12 notes. We only have 8 notes in a major scale, right? And that's because we have whole steps and half steps. So a whole step is just 2 half steps, right? So we jump from D to E, okay? In between D and E is E flat. So that's a whole step. And then we go from E to F sharp, which is another whole step, because we're skipping over F natural in the middle. And then we have a half step to G, F sharp to G. There's no note. If you look carefully here, there's no note. There's no note in between F sharp and G, so that's a half step. So D, E, it's a whole step to F sharp, half step to G, whole step to A, whole step to B, whole step to C sharp, and then a half step to a D, C sharp to D. There's no notes in between. So notice we only have 2 half steps in this entire scale. So check this out. D to E is a whole step. E to F sharp is a whole step. F sharp to G is a half step. And by the way, whole is spelled W-H-O-L-E. Not like a hole in the ground, but a whole, meaning a whole and a half, right? Like fractions, right? So a whole, half, whole, half. It's just helpful to remember that. So it doesn't matter what scale you're doing. It could be D, G, C, E flat. It doesn't matter what scale it is. Always whole, half, whole, half, okay? So one more time. Whole half there. Good. I hope that makes sense, guys. Have fun practicing the D major scale. Scales are like vegetables. They're almost like an acquired taste. When I was a kid, I hated tomatoes, but then the more I ate them, the more I liked them. It's also kind of like grammar. And when in order to learn how to read, in order to learn how to write, you got to learn grammar, right? You have to know where to put the period, capitalize the first letter of a sentence, all those different things. So those help to you to read. Knowing your scales, just playing them. You don't even need to read it every day, but just playing the scale a bunch of times, and the better you get at the scale, the more you're going to like it, just like tomatoes. All right? I hope you guys are doing well. Keep up the hard work, all right? Talk to you soon.